Well, it is day three of the new administration, and things are they get wilder and wilder, or maybe just the same amount of wildness, but it just continues. Then there's Tesla. Well, Tesla has never, in my opinion, had so much noise buffeting the stock price, stuff that has nothing to do really with, what should be considered part of the valuation. You've got Elon's involvement on the world stage. I mean, he's always been involved and he's always been making noise, and some of that noise has always been impacting the stock. But I would say we're at an all-time high in terms of the positives, the negatives, the interpretations of various things that he's doing, which are insane. But they're there, and they're part of what's happening to the stock price right now. But then number two, we have the potential for AI and Tesla. Well, people are ignoring it. People are embracing it. We know that it's part of the valuation right now. It's be stupid to think that the valuation of Tesla right now is based on bending metal. I mean, who would think that? That would be a wrong analysis. So there's all these analysts on Wall Street that, well, we'll be showing you a few just in a couple of seconds here. Anyway, we have the upcoming earnings call, and that, of course, is always going to have an impact on the stock. So that's a bunch of noise. Again, it's not really critical to the long-term valuation of a company that is planning to change everything, change the world. Yeah, so but the earnings call, that's coming up next week. And so I've mentioned that I think that we'll be soft into earnings. So far, that is correct. I said we'd be trading between 380 and 480. That's definitely correct. And I think we'll end up at the end of the month at 410, which is a little less than we are right now. Number four, the incessant negative press. Well, we've had incessant negative press before, but the incessant negative press is maybe at an all-time high, especially in Europe right now. I think China probably is just fine, and Australia is probably just fine. But in Europe, holy mackerel, they're just they can't get enough of the Nazi salute. Have you looked at a Nazi salute? Have you ever looked at the way that they actually do the salute? It's not actually off to the side. It's directly in front. I, I, I'm sorry. I can't. It's so weird and so stupid. I just can't even get it. Anyway, number five, the wait and the wait for the more affordable car. So we're waiting for that more affordable car, and everybody seems to be very interested in that. And I think it's impacting the stock price. People like Gary Black, again, I'm not picking on him, I'm just saying he mentions it all the time. It's like it's like the most important thing to him, not FSD, not the robotaxi, not Optimus, but the more affordable car. I don't think so, but that's what people are paying attention to. Some people. Number six, the 100 plus PE ratio. That's a very high PE ratio, but I kind of addressed that earlier. How do we justify it? How does anybody justify it? Well, therefore the price is the stock is overpriced. As I said the other day, as Elon said, I'm just quoting Elon. If you believe in robotaxis and Optimus, then the prices, the current price is completely under where it should be. If you don't believe in that, then yeah, it's way over. Number eight, the questions around the IRA, the ZEV credits, other government subsidies and incentives. That is whirling and swirling, and that is, of course, not normally there. It is just now because of the new Trump administration. We just don't know how that's all going to play out, and that legitimately, could impact sales and whatnot. However, the stock has been, well, the market's been roughly down, especially the NASDAQ has been down this morning. Bonds, the yields are back up again. The Dow was up. I'm not sure if it still is, but Tesla was up and then down and then up. Anyway, last time I checked, it was down a little, but not as much as the NASDAQ. What I'm kind of seeing maybe is a reversal, maybe a little bit of a profit taking after 2 days of exuberance, which would be normal and expected. We had the S&P touching on all-time highs yesterday. So that's kind of what maybe generally is happening. And then with Tesla, it might be a lot of things, including these price increases that Tesla has just announced. Now, why would they be increasing prices in January, you might ask? especially in Canada, they increased the prices dramatically. Remember that the Canadian dollar is toast. We were just up there in Canada. We were shocked at what dinner cost at a very nice restaurant. Like for the two of us, under $100. I'm like, what are we even talking about here? Could never get it in, not in California for under $100, not the meals we were having. So, yeah. So they raised the price a lot, like 20% in Canada. And apparently, I haven't seen it yet. AJ mentions that they've been raising it in other markets as well. So why would they raise the prices in around the world for the Tesla, product line? I can only think of two reasons. They are seeing more sales right now than expected. I mean, the demand is much higher than they expected in January. I mean, January's not, they are seeing good sales in China. We've seen that up 3.8% so far year to date in factories that are pretty much tapped out and before the Juniper is released. I mean, they're taking orders for the Juniper. Apparently, last I've heard, 120,000, if the rumors can be believed. But they have, so maybe they're seeing better than expected sales and therefore they're raising prices, which is kind of their modus operandi. Or maybe they have reason to believe that sales will be booming soon. Now, what would that number one reason be for sales booming soon? Come on now, help me out. Oh yeah, you got it. That's right. FSD unsupervised might be coming soon. Maybe sooner than we thought. I don't know. Maybe it'll be announced at the earnings meeting. Maybe it'll be announced next week. I don't know. But it'll be interesting to see. I heard all kinds of, by the way, I heard a lot of rumors yesterday that, and Jeff Lutz said that we were going to get the website would be up for the Juniper today. I didn't see anything this morning about that. Did you? Let me know in the comments below. Do you think maybe that unsupervised is coming within the next couple of 3 weeks? Maybe during February or something, and that's why the prices are up today around the world in various markets, according to AJ. Now, I haven't, that's the only place I've got it, but AJ, pretty much if he says it, I haven't caught him in many incorrect statements. This is from Mr. Mike Investing. He says, it's coming. This is the second time we've quoted him, by the way. I called the bottom on Tesla when it was 250, and within a couple of weeks it ran to 488. This breakout is nowhere near over, and the whales agree as they continue loading tens of millions. He says 500 is coming within the next few weeks. Mark my words. He could be right. He could be right. We could be looking, I don't think we'll see it by the end of January, but we could be seeing 500 in February. It may have nothing to do with the technicals, which is what he's basing his analysis on, but the fundamentals just might be the reason, and unsupervised could be the reason. This Piper Sandler analyst Alex Potter expects the first half of the year will be choppy for Tesla. However, the 5-star analyst goes on to add that the EV leader is still our number one buy and hold idea. On the gross margin front, Potter thinks that Q4 margins might be only 17% compared to 18% last quarter. However, looking ahead, his outlook is more optimistic as long as Tesla doesn't waffle on launching the new products. Potter anticipates a strong post-quarter performance in the stock. All right, there's what Potter's thinking right now. I don't think we're going to have that miss at 17%. I think, if anything, we'll be looking at an increase, and that's what I've been hearing from others. Zacks. Zacks is an analyst company. They say the earnings estimate for the to-be reported quarter has been revised downward by 1 cent over the past 30 days. The bottom line projection, however, indicates year-over-year growth of 7%. The Zacks consensus estimate for quarterly revenues suggests that's the year-over-year increase of 9.7%. That's for next year. For 2025, the Zacks consensus is $117.2 billion, which would be an increase. I'm sorry, next year will be an increase of 17.5%. And they're pegging next year's total earnings at $3.30. All right, Zacks did a pretty good job. I didn't read the whole thing to you. They did a pretty good job of understanding Tesla. And yet they made the same mistake everybody else is making. Morningstar on the other side was off in so many regards. I almost didn't even bother to bring you this, but I think we got to look at the folks that aren't getting Tesla also, that are well-known reporting agencies. I mean, Morningstar, they're pretty well respected. With its 1-star rating, we believe Tesla stock is significantly overvalued compared with our long-term fair value estimate of $210 a share. It's actually not bad for just metal, as you'll see. We use a weighted average cost of capital of under 9%. Our equity valuation adds back non-recourse, non-dilutive convertible debt. In 2024, Tesla's deliveries came in at 1.79 million, slightly below the 1.8 forecast. In 2025, we forecast deliveries will return to growth as an affordable vehicles launched by mid-year. However, we forecast deliveries will come in below management's guidance of 20 to 30% growth. No mention in their entire article. Again, I'm not reading the whole thing to you. Their article went on to, on and on and on about this and that and the other. Never mentioned the word Optimus one time. So here was AJ's actual quote: various markets see Tesla price increases across the entire vehicle range, except for Cybertruck. This was expected. This was expected upon launch of the new Model Y, but not for the other vehicles. So in other words, he's expecting increases in the price of the Model Y, but not for 3, S and X, etc. But that's what's happening this morning. This is Randy Kirk. If you haven't done it yet, it would be a lovely thing to hit the like, subscribe, notify button. This is Thursday. Yes, it will be a very normal day. If you consider these two characters to be normal, that would be Bradford Ferguson around 5 o'clock. And then we will have Cern Basher with his colorful charts at 7:45. And then you could hit Patreon. I don't get what's happening with the bonds right now. Last time I checked, they're up. Now this could be profit taking because, bonds have been rallying for the last 2 days, and now the yields are up, which means the bonds are down. But I mean, what are they looking for? I'm thinking that they should be looking at what's happening so far in the Trump administration as him following right down the line of doing every single promise. And his promise is that the DOGE Commission is going to cut government like crazy. So if that happens, bonds are going to drop like a rock. I mean, I'm just telling you, not investment advice, but bond yields are going to drop like a rock. Bond, the valuation, the underlying valuation of bonds is going to go up like crazy. So right now we're sitting at bonds, which are paying an interest rate, 4.6%. If I was in the market for bonds, if I thought that I wanted that kind of an investment, I would be a buyer right now. That's not investment advice to you. That would be investment advice to me if I had that kind of a portfolio. Anyway, in the week ending January 18th, the advanced figure for seasonally adjusted initial claims was 223,000, which was an increase of 6,000 from the previous week. Was unrevised last week. 4-week moving average was an increase of 750 total units. The total number of continued weeks claimed, which is the one I pay the most attention to, ended January at 2.3 million, an increase of 87,908 from the previous week. This is what we should be paying attention to. This is the only softness I'm seeing. I mean, really across the board, I'm not seeing softness in the economy right now. This is the one place. People who are getting laid off are having trouble finding work. It's not crazy yet, but it's important. It's worth watching. So the economic news today is totally being drowned out by the news around Trump. Oh, and of course, there's almost nothing being reported this week except quite a few earnings reports. And those earnings reports, United Airlines, I haven't seen American Airlines yet, but I mean, pretty much across the board, the guidance has been great. The earnings have been great. So the market, has been up and it's at all-time highs. And I think that's okay. I do continue to believe that there's room for the market to take a breather of at least 10%. I wish it would get it over with so I can stop saying it. But I've been predicting that for 5 months? So far, I've been wrong. couple of 5% pullbacks, but no 10% pullbacks. But next week is going to be a wild and crazy week. We've got the PCE, CPE, whatever. Yeah, we've got that other CPE, right? I get, I'm always, these three-letter things, they get me so confused. Anyway, and then we've got the Fed interest rate decision. We've got a bunch of earnings, and I don't know, Fed interest rate decision. We've got Tesla on the same day. People said, what? That's on the same day? Yeah, on the same day in the morning. Well, my morning, your afternoon. We get the Fed decision, then we get the Fed giving his interview with the press, and then we have Tesla earnings coming out, and then we have Elon with his interview with the press. What can go wrong? All right, where are the markets right now? Let's find out what's happened. Are we still in profit-taking mode? What is going on? So Tesla bouncing all around today, all around, has been up 3, down 3, well, maybe not down 3, down 2, right now down 66 cents. The Dow, as I said, up 83. The NASDAQ, as I said, down 88. S&P down 8. Call that basically even. Magnificent 7. Apple, Google, Meta up. The others are down. NVIDIA and Microsoft, which were up so strongly yesterday, are down the most. Meta continues up $3.82 again today. Now, of course, that's only 0.5%. So, okay, the Cathie Woods all down this morning. Yep, 100% all down this morning. Square's up a little bit. Okay. Because again, why is that happening? Bonds are up this morning. Why? Bond yields, I mean. Okay, here we go. Here's the percentages. Dow up 0.18%. NASDAQ down 0.41. S&P down 0.13. Tesla down also 0.13. So again, right now outperforming its beta by a lot. It should be down almost a full percent at this point compared to the NASDAQ. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the bonds. So the 10-year is up 5.5 basis points to 4.654. Okay, that's still way under 4.8. I'll give you that. But 4.654 is nuts. It should be at 4.5 or less. The bond market is still not convinced the DOGE is going to do its job and that the president is going to continue with this price cutting and cost cutting. They're not convinced. I don't know why, but we'll see. Time will tell. 2-year up 0.7 of a basis point. The 1 month up 0.5 of a basis point. So not quite as much, but the 1 month has been up more. So I was just reminded of something that I put on X this morning. Some lady was fired because on social media, she was complaining about Trump's Nazi salute. And people were like, I thought we weren't going to have cancel culture anymore. That we weren't going to cancel people because of their opinions. And my comment was only, she wasn't fired for her opinion. I always fired people that were stupid, too stupid to do their job. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and look at the rest of the financial news here. We have got the oil patch up a little bit today, 75.92, up 48 cents. Brent, 79.56. Okay. So a little bit more than the $3, but there's no turmoil in the Middle East. Natural gas up 2% at back over $4 again. We've begun to understand after doing this every day for 2 years that natural gas is really volatile. Is it always this volatile? Let me know in the comments below. I've only been watching it for this 2 years. Gold slipped a little bit off its all-time highs, still sitting at 27.4880, almost 27.50, but down 22 for the morning so far. Silver down 2.78, back down to $30.50. That's a pretty strong drop. Copper down just 0.13%, but 4.3, $4.30. I mean, that's where it normally is. The dollar is steady this morning. Bitcoin is unchanged, up 117. I mean, that's unchanged for Bitcoin. 104,485. that is all we have for you right now. Except to remind you, we've got Nicholas, Nicholas is on Tuesday. We have Bradford Ferguson on tonight at roughly 5 o'clock, and that will be followed by Cern Basher, who will be on at 7:45. And then last night, okay, two phenomenal videos. I'm talking about special. If you did not see Jeff Lutz last night with regard to Optimus, you need to, and not only Optimus, with regard to battery analysis. Now I'll put that card up. Now these might be in the wrong order because I'll try to put it up first. I'll put up the Jeff Lutz video first, maybe. And then after that, of course, I was with Brian Wang, and Brian did his analysis of Tesla stock from a technical perspective, but also some amazing other content. I'm talking outstanding. Now, you might have already seen both of those because they got huge numbers last night. So thank you very much for watching. I'm so thankful to all of you for supporting the channel just by watching. You have no idea what it means. Well, you probably guessed that it impacts my earnings, and you would be right. It's been great talking to you. Oh, did I forget? I'm so sorry. Let me go back. I know. I always go back and give you one last look at Tesla, almost in the green, 0.04% or 15 cents in the red as I bid you adieu until later today. It's been great talking to you.